And good morning, rise and shine. It's Oven Odyssey Wednesday. I'm John Garlic. We're here with Susan Shipman and Chef Dave, world-renowned Chef Dave, master culinary, whatever.
Artiste.
Semi-famous, is that the word for
I
it?
learned
In your own mind.
that Courtney can't be here today, so I'm privileged to be here and enjoy a breakfast from Chef Dave's, although it's not necessarily always breakfast, is it?
It's
Rarely,
It's
actually.
rarely breakfast.
Well,
But
now
it's-
try that.
you know, it's my delicate
it's never too
constitution
early to eat
sometimes.
great food, right?
Yeah.
It's not. It's absolutely not.
And so when I came in, you said we're doing a tour of the coastal.
We are. You've missed us a few Wednesdays.
Yes, I did. I
and
missed-
happy Wednesday. We're doing a tour of the Southern cuisine. We started in Louisiana. We made a crawfish etouffee.
Oh, I had that.
And then
That was
we
very
moved
good.
up to North Carolina and we did a little shrimp and grits.
And that was
I missed
lovely.
that.
And now we're headed back to Mobile with a little fresh snapper, with seared snapper with creamy Creole sauce over rice pilaf with a little light arugula salad. So that's what's on the plate
Yes.
You know, that's pretty exciting. I've been deep sea fishing in the Gulf, and snapper is one of those things that has a particular season, and a lot of people catch snapper. So this would be, listen up, folks, because I know, people are going fishing and they're coming home with ice chests filled with red snapper, and this is something you can do with it. 'cause
today. It is snapper season, absolutely.
You
And this
know,
is something we can do with that.
And there's a limit on how many snapper you can actually take home with you, and the size that they have to be before you can keep them. And
Yeah.
so there's that. But
Thankfully, all the deep sea fishing people know that.
yes,
All you do is you pay your fee, go
That
on a
is
boat,
so
try not
lovely,
to
isn't
get
it?
seasick, and
Yeah.
they bait the hook for you and throw it in. You stand there, and if you
Wait.
want, they can even reel it in, but you reel it in and they unhook it, throw it in the cooler, and then clean it for you.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
You know, and the snapper population has increased considerably over the years. There was a time when it was very overfished, and it got to the point where I remember seeing snapper coming into the restaurant. There were 20, 30-pound fish.
oh wow.
And and then they just got smaller and smaller. So hopefully that due to responsible fishing and tightened seasons, and the seasons are much smaller than it used to be.
Yes.
And
It's hard to regulate that. NOAA, National Oceanographic people, monitor all that, and they try to control
they
it.
record the catches every year, and they adjust the seasons every year.
And it's well regulated by the boat captains and the boat crews, that's for sure, if you go out on a legitimate
The
party or
legitimate ones
charter.
are, yeah, I'm not
Yeah,
so sure.
yeah. But,
There may be a few
John
that-
Schmo public could be out there, gathering up as many as they want to.
Yeah, there may be a few people that just aren't doing it right. So we're what are you cutting up there now?
We're chopping up a little onion, so we're going to go ahead and get our rice started. Rice pilaf.
That doesn't sound very mobile-y.
Well, pilaf really refers to the cooking method.
Oh,
Much like risotto is a cooking method more than a product, right? So rice pilaf is a drier rice, so that you want to cook it so that the grains don't stick together after they're cooked. Whereas with a risotto, you get a very creamy, starchy rice. So we started, before the show started, I went ahead and rinsed my rice. And that washes most of the starch off of it, so that it's
that's
not...
something somebody should do if they want to do pilaf. They take the rice that they bought in the bag from the grocery store and rinse it before they...
If you want a good pilaf, which is going to be a fluffy, loose rice that's not clinging together, you want to do that. And since we're doing a nice creamy sauce on top of this, we don't want a sticky rice for that. So
No sticky
no
rice
sticky
ever.
rice. So we're going to dice up a little onions. We're going to get our fire started, and we're going to get a little olive oil in this.
Oh, yeah, olive oil. Lucy loves olive oil. She makes me
Hi,
cook with it
Lucy.
all the time.
So what we're going to do, once this olive oil comes up to a little heat, we're going to start the onions, let them get a little ways into it, get some garlic in there, let that simmer for a while. And then we're going to go ahead and put the rice in with that olive oil to coat the rice. And then we'll add our stock to get the rice cooking. So that all that's going to do is give us a nice flaky rice that's not sticking together like Chinese rice or even traditional rice.
Okay, so rinse the rice, olive oil with some seasoning, your favorite seasoning. Let it sit for a little while, and dump the rice and then the stock
That's it.
in the olive oil.
And then
all.
cook it like you would normally cook rice. So while that's going on, we're going to go ahead and start doing some prep for our sauce. We'll get our peppers going.
Got Dave and the sharp knife doing the
Sharp rice too.
sharp
Sharpen the rice before
sharp
we
rice
came.
and- See, oh good, we got that on camera. 'Cause that's a unique way of getting the peppers. You talked about that one show, how you cut
Just
the
a quick
peppers.
way to process it.
Hey, I want to talk about peaches and a quick way to process them.
Okay. Peaches are
There's
good.
not one.
Oh, what do you,
There's not one.
What do you- it's okay. How do you
and
process
so,
peaches?
you know, if you're working on peaches for a peach cobbler, you just go ahead and give yourself some time to accomplish that, because it's going to take some time.
which
to
is what we
accomplish
have
it.
for later. Is the
We
peach
do,
cobbler.
yes. Yes, we do. And you have to peel them and you know, get them off of the pit.
And it looks like it's going to be a fantastic peach harvest this year with all the rain we've gotten,
yes.
both in Georgia and Chilton County.
Yes, and so I went a little early on the peach cobbler. I should have waited until it's actually
How do you peel a
local
peach?
peach. Very,
We should have brought a peach for you to show us.
you know, it's a very messy thing. I had peach juice up to my elbows, and because they're, you know, they're wet, and once you start peeling them, they're hard to hold on to because they're wet, and it was just a challenge. And this is a variety of peach that is not what's grown in Clanton, or not anything I've ever seen come out of Clanton.
Okay.
So anyway, but those were the peaches that were available, and so that's what we did because we wanted to do peach cobbler.
Might be a little early for Chilton County. What do you
It
think?
is. It is,
Really?
just a little bit.
In Georgia?
When I was a kid, I had about 3 peach trees in the backyard.
Nice.
It was very nice. It was my venture into backyard farming. I did 3 peach trees, and I had a little garden on the side of the garage where I grew
Nice.
tomatoes and peppers and zucchini.
Yes.
And I made a fried tomato pepper zucchini thing
Lovely.
as a teenager, and it wasn't lovely.
It didn't taste good, or
Well,
it was ugly?
It didn't taste.
Okay.
It wasn't what I was used to, and so
Okay.
and that might have been part of it. And I just did it on a whim because I thought, let's take all of these vegetables and throw it in a frying pan with some oil, and
It doesn't
See
sound
what it
like
works,
a bad
and it-
combination.
Experimental cooking. I
it
like
was
that.
experimental cooking. And
Cookology.
unfortunately, I didn't have Chef Dave in the kitchen with me to advise me on.
No helpers available.
Chef Dave was probably not even born yet.
Yes.
Well, there were plenty of failed recipes that didn't make it to live television. So.
That's true. Sometimes we fail on live television.
So our diced, yeah, we do, true that. So our diced onions are starting to brown a little bit.
Ooh, look at that.
We're gonna,
We need,
Smell-o-vision.
we need
We're
a
gonna add the
smaller
garlic.
camera for that. Yeah.
and that won't take long.
Nice.
So you didn't add any more oil. You just
I've
threw-
added some oil because it's kind of draining it off or sucking it up.
Yep.
And I want enough oil to get my rice covered.
Gotcha.
So I'm gonna hit it one more time.
So is that on low heat? pretty
Yeah,
much?
very low heat.
Okay. Because you don't want to actually kind
Or
of fry it.
very low for these burners
want it
because they
just
run
to-
a little hotter than your stove. So I'm careful not to overdo it. I don't want to burn that oil.
Dave, I found a cooker thing that I'm in love with. It's a double burner.
Double burner?
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes. Yes.
Cool.
Weighs 32 pounds, I think it said. For
I can't wait to try out
portability.
the new Blackstone
I
this
know.
weekend.
I know.
What's the new black?
I picked up a Blackstone flat top for off-site jobs, and we've got a gig this weekend that we're excited about. So this rice is a little clumpy because I rinsed it,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
but that's all right. I'm going to get him in there.
So just for people who don't often rinse rice, would you do that in your usual little
I did it in a big
looking-
strainer. You can do it in
Yeah.
a colander, anything that's got holes small enough that the rice grains won't fall through.
So, see,
Just
that's
rinse
what
it
I
in the
would have
sink.
just assumed, but I thought there might be a fancy chef thing for rinsing
And
rice.
the strainer is a
probably
good
is.
The
idea.
Ronco rice
You know
rinser.
there's got to be.
Rice-a-roni,
Yeah.
I haven't found that yet. So we're going to just toss that around just for a sec to get that covered, and that will break up the clumpies because it's stuck together when I rinsed it. And I don't want it sticking together when you eat it.
Me neither.
And then we're going to add our stock. Chicken broth, chicken stock. You could do it with water. Water doesn't taste like anything, so I like a little chicken stock.
Chicken
in
stock,
mine. So
bouillon cube.
We talked about those before, didn't we?
We did. We talked about I have to have chicken bouillon powder because it's easier than the cube.
Yes.
The cube doesn't break up as quickly as I would like it to.
So
Yes.
remember, when you cook rice, it's 1 part rice, 2 parts liquid. So
Yeah.
we'll get that up to a simmer. Turn our heat up a little bit.
So do you bring that to a boil and then turn it down?
We're going to bring it, as soon as it gets to a simmer, we're going to make sure it stays at simmering and not, whoops, rapid boil, make it a mess. And we'll go ahead and get started on our sauce. So we're dicing up some bell peppers, red peppers in this case. We're going to dice up a couple of Roma tomatoes.
What's the difference between Roman tomatoes and any other kind of tomato?
So Romas have a lot less liquid and a lot more meat. So if you want to do something with a diced tomato that's got some body to it, I'd recommend a nice fresh ripe Roma.
We've got some Jersey Devils in the garden that are going to be nice in dishes because they're meatier and less seedy. So those are going to be fun to work with. And the Romas that we planted are Roman Warrior is the variety.
Roman Warrior.
Roman warrior. That's interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So when you go to the grocery store, how many different varieties are sitting on the shelf, do you think?
Not so many.
so
Not
many.
as many as in the garden, for sure.
Yes,
Correct.
No doubt, no doubt.
You can usually find, vine ripe tomatoes, Romas, a nice, what we call 5x6, which refers to their size, which is,
They'll usually have something in a package that's called Constellation, and it's got 3 or 4 different kinds of little salad tomatoes in the package. And
Yeah.
we're going to have more than a Constellation. We're going to have a Galaxy.
Oh, a galaxy.
Yes.
A
Well, while
galaxy.
we're thinking about your trek through the galaxy, we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back here on Rise and Shine Oven Odyssey Wednesday. Stay with us.
Some say college isn't for single parents or people who work full-time. I'm here to prove them wrong. I'm a first-generation American, the father of Dion, and a non-traditional student at Gadsden State Community College. As a sergeant in the Army National Guard, I've watched soldiers with degrees progress faster in their careers. So today, I'm in school, involved in the Veterans Upper Bound program, and excited to see what's in store for my career. I truly am earning my wings at Gadsden State.
More than 2.5 million youths admitted to vaping according to data from the CDC. Teens are at a greater risk for nicotine addiction because their brains are still developing. Please talk to your children about vaping.
Although we may see things differently,
the message can still reach me.
Hughes Paint and Body Works Towing and Recovery in Oxford is the area's leading auto body shop, serving Anniston, Oxford, Talladega, and surrounding areas since 1996. They specialize in auto body repair and refinishing, paint correction, paintless dent repair, towing, and so much more. For all of your auto body needs, contact Hughes Paint and Body Works Towing and Recovery at 256-835-1170. Also online at hughespaintandbody.com.
Hey everybody, I'm Larry May. I've been in the entertainment business for over 25 years. I've written for the local paper. I've interviewed a lot of touring artists and local artists here. And what I figured out is how much talent we have here in Alabama. That's why we put a new show together for you called Entertainment Alabama. Come watch us for the hottest new acts and some of your favorites that are national touring artists.
Come out and check out the Alabama Tractor difference. We can take care of all your needs of parts, sales, and service for RTVs, zero turns, and tractors and construction equipment. See us here in Lincoln at 620 Speedway Industrial Drive.
I'm Lacey Klontz with your TV24 News Update. The very first electric vehicle charging station in Jacksonville is now open at City Hall. Per Facebook, residents and visitors with electric vehicles can top off their batteries while visiting downtown Jacksonville. The two Level 2 stations are in the City Hall parking lot and are ready to use with the OptConnect smartphone app at a rate of 18 cents per kilowatt hour. 2 Alabama women have now received rings that they did not order in the mail. The United States Postal Inspection Service has warned that this may be part of a scam. The woman who most recently received a ring is named Valerie Garner of East Alabama. She said she knew something was up when she noticed that the return address was in China. Per 1819 News, Valerie Garner stated she believed the ring came from a scam website, which she was tricked into ordering from. She spotted an ad for gym clothes on Facebook and clicked on the ad. It took her to what appeared to be the Gymshark website, a company she had ordered from before. She said the website looked identical to the legitimate company's website. However, once she placed the order and began to track it, she knew something was off. She didn't get her order when the package was marked as delivered. Instead, she got a ring in the mail.
For more local news coverage, plus weather with Justin Deal and sports, tune in tonight to the TV24 News. For WEAC TV 24, I'm Lacey Klontz.
Welcome back to Rise and Shine, Oven Odyssey Wednesdays. We're here with Chef Dave and the mighty Susan Shipman. And we're talking about hot flashes on the break.
Hot flashes and baby ducks.
Well, we were talking about baby ducks. And you said you got some new baby ducks, and I was curious. I wanted to ask some duck questions.
Come on.
Okay, so what kind of ducks are these?
The wag wag waddle waddle kind.
That makes no sense to me whatsoever.
I don't really know what kind
they
they
little
are.
white
They're yellow.
ducks?
They're
They're
small
yellow.
and yellow right now. They won't be yellow when they grow up.
These aren't the sugary ones you get at Easter, though.
They're not peeps. They're not peeps. No, sir.
So you get these ducks.
They're edible, I'm sure, but not.
Really?
They're kind of small for that now.
I just want to know how you guys went from ducks to hot flashes, but
well, we went from hot flashes to ducks.
It was it was Sparky's
Right.
thing, not.
So, okay.
Okay.
Two questions about ducks.
All right.
One, how do you keep them from flying away?
Well, you know, we've had.
I didn't mean this to be a difficult question.
Well, I was thinking about that. I was processing. We had a duck before, Cecil D. Duck, and we put him in with the chickens, and he grew up with the chickens. And
So
one
he didn't
day
know he could fly.
He did not until he did, and then he flew the coop. And so the idea here is that we socialize them with us so that they want to stick around because they get fed and they get whatever, and it's because it's a great place to live on the Shipman compound, and so
that's why I'm sticking around.
exactly. So we'll find out if
Chef Dave in the mother-in-law trailer out back.
yeah, sort of like that.
Kind of like that.
And yeah, so Mr. Shipman has been talking about getting some ducks, and so he followed through, and so that right now they're little babies, and so they're in a big container in the greenhouse,
Right.
and yeah, and so there are wood chips in the bottom, and they've got a big swimming pool. And
So people who have many ducks, in order to, they sell the duck eggs
Yeah.
at the farmer's market, and they get their ducks in a row to bring them back in from the lake. Those ducks can fly, they just choose not to leave?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So why don't other ducks show up? Why don't we like go out on the duck web?
Well, for us, we've already got geese, and so the geese and the ducks don't necessarily want to compete for a particular body of water based on how big the body of water is. And I
Gotcha.
don't know what all that is, but they do.
They do. The Canadian geese?
Probably.
Yeah.
The honkers.
Yeah, they come and they stay. They used to migrate, but they've...
We had just a pair, and now they're back up to 8, and so I don't know what they're doing.
They're interesting
but
to
it's
watch.
okay. They are.
Because they'll always have, of the 2 adults with the little babies, they'll have one adult that's on guard.
Yeah, yeah.
And they can be
And we
pretty
haven't
aggressive.
had any babies this season, which is really unusual.
That
yeah.
is unusual.
Yeah. But
Well, maybe the ducks
it's
kind of...
still going to happen, and it just hasn't happened yet. Who knows? Yeah.
Well, so
Okay.
that was an interesting foray down
Thank you.
Duck Alley.
We might have duck on the show one day.
Ooh, not one
We
of
might.
yours. You know, when I was at the
Not after
National
they have
Academy,
names.
we had an international day, and I can't remember if it's the Philippines, it might have been the Philippines, brought blue duck eggs, little tiny blue duck eggs that you would eat. They would basically heat them up with the little ducky inside, and you were eating a little duck embryo. It was kind of gross, and I
So
did
it
not.
was a
Very appetizing story,
fertilized,
Joe.
Well, I
partially
did-
grown up. Oh my goodness.
It's one of those things, and
One of those things, indeed.
it was, and I did not
It's got a high
participate.
oak factor.
There was a lot of adult beveraging before that,
would
but I
have
did
to be.
not. I did not participate.
That's like sucking heads on the
something
you gotta
like
have
that,
a lot of
yeah.
walkie involved there.
So to flip over to something a little more appetizing.
There
than
we go,
blue
please.
ducks, our rice is simmering. It's almost there, and we can see that it's got a very different texture than your basic boiled rice. So it's already a lot looser, a lot more singular, and that's what we want. And it's got some
You got
onions.
that just by rinsing the rice.
Absolutely. It takes the starch off of it, and then we sauteed it briefly in the olive oil with the onions and garlic, and that coated it, and then we added the stock.
So what's going on in the other pan?
In the other pan, we've got peppers and onions for our sauce,
Our creamy Creole.
our creamy Creole sauce. We're going to let that get a little bit further, then we're going to add the garlic and the tomatoes, and some lemon juice and some seasoning and a little tomato paste. And so we have a nice tube of tomato paste here.
And glue your tomatoes together.
We used fresh tomatoes instead of canned tomatoes for this. If you had diced canned tomatoes, that would work well too. Just drain them off. So in go the tomatoes, in goes the garlic.
Right off the cutting board onto the pan.
Absolutely.
Nothing fancy. Whoa, there you go.
That's why we brought the dustpan. So all right.
There you go.
We'll let that get a little bit.
Excellent.
See, I like that you did that, because those of us that do that more often than not.
Yes, that happens.
Then your wife yells at you for messing up the kitchen floor.
Well, it's one of those things that's
you
really
know.
hard to practice, right?
without
Without
I mean,
making
you
a
have
mess.
to.
Yeah, you're going to make a
if-
mess.
If you want for that to work, you got to practice.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like parachuting.
Yeah.
It's hard to practice.
So what's the first thing we're going to cook on the new flat grill, Blackstone flat grill? We're going to test drive
Well,
that thing
we've
before
got
we
to
go to
season it
T-Town?
before we get out of town with it.
Okay.
So we're going to test drive it tonight, I think.
Excellent.
And,
Seasoning your grill.
Absolutely.
So what do you season it with?
Oil. Going
Oil.
to season it with a little vegetable oil. Kind of like seasoning a cast iron skillet. It's not a cast iron grill. It's a rolled steel flat top grill. So it really won't need much. Just going to kind of need a little oil.
So how do you do that? Do you heat the thing up and put the oil on it and just
Yeah,
let
you
it
heat
sit?
it up to kind of a low heat and spread a little oil on it. Take a towel and just wipe it, or some paper towels and just wipe it down.
just one treatment?
And then
We'll
after
see.
that, you're going
If something sticks, we'll know it's not enough.
to, exactly. Yeah. And then after that, after you clean it, you're going to oil it every time to
Oh, okay.
keep it in good shape.
Very good. Very good.
So the rice is almost there. Our tomatoes, onions, peppers, garlic,
Now, how do you know the rice is almost there?
because the liquid's almost gone.
Ah, okay.
And then we'll give it a little taste test before we get there. So we're going to add to this some chicken stock.
Okay, chicken stock to the veggies.
A little more chicken stock.
Oh, look at that.
We're going to add some tomato paste to that. Maybe a tablespoon.
I love how you measured the tablespoon.
Ish.
Ish.
Let that get loose, loosey-goosey there. It's going to give it a little flavor, give it a little color. We're not making marinara sauce here, so we don't need it to be.
So is that cayenne, and what else did I see in front of you there?
We have cayenne and we have a Cajun seasoning. In this case, it's Tony's.
Good.
Tony, I can never say that. Tony Kachiri's.
Ah.
So our rice is soaked up all that liquid. I'm going to turn the heat off and let it sit for 5 minutes.
There you go.
Our stock is reducing, which is
stock.
getting all those goodies tender. We're going to season it up. A little Cajun seasoning, a little cayenne pepper,
Cayenne.
a little more cayenne pepper, a little kosher salt. I'm sorry, this is sea salt.
Sea salt. Yes. Whoop.
Whoop. A little more sea salt.
Harvested from the sea.
I'm going to add just a little bit of lemon juice to this.
Do you happen to know the process of getting sea salt from the sea? It sounds obvious, but there's got to be a little bit more science to
I do
just
not
letting
know.
the water evaporate and sweeping up the salt.
Probably not. There may be some electrolysis that goes on there or something to
And you know,
make
they
it
talk about
faster.
they talk about microplastics in seawater,
Right.
and I'm wondering if when you get salt from seawater, you're not also getting. How do they keep the microplastics out of the salt? That would be an interesting question.
Perhaps
that
that
we won't
has
answer
to
today.
do with where you acquire your seawater. And,
Well, they
and
tell
there's
us
got
there's
to be a way to
microplastics in all the seawater.
make that come out.
Well, we're going to ponder this microplastic in the seawater, sea salt concept while Chef Dave is cooking. And we're going to take another break. So stay with us here on Rise and Shine Oven Odyssey Wednesday.
Woohoo.
I'm Alan Parnell with Parnell Insurance Agency. We've been here in Oxford and Alabama, Tallapoosa, Georgia since 1990. With Auto Owners Insurance, we're able to give customers competitive pricing along with excellent coverages. Parnell Insurance can handle all of your personal, commercial, and life insurance needs. We have a very experienced staff, both personal and commercial. All together, we've got about 125 years experience. Come see what our insurance agency can do for you in Oxford, Alabama, and Tallapoosa, Georgia.
Auto Owners Insurance.
At Bentley Prosthetic and Medical Supply, we care about you. We offer custom prosthetics, orthotics, diabetic shoes, and durable medical supplies. We're located here in Alexandria, Alabama, where it's a country feel but professional care. Come see us today.
Campers Unlimited, we offer a no-pressure experience, no hidden fees, and great service after the sale, making us one of the fastest-growing RV dealers in the Southeast. With our second location in Oxford, we offer a great selection of over 220 campers from top brands, including Grand Design. Our mission is to help friends and family spend time together in the great outdoors. At Campers Unlimited, you aren't just a customer, you are family. Check out our inventory at campersunlimited.net or come see us at Gaston or Oxford.
All right. A little more about academics.
Parents, do you want to secure a bright future for young people? We have science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Get your kids involved with Academic STEM kits. Go to www.academics.com to order your STEM kits. It's going to be STEM-tastic.
Hello, I'm Taylor Sloan with the City of Oxford, with a word about one of our city's most precious resources, water. Clean water enriches our lives in so many ways, but we cannot afford to take it for granted. Remember, every time you pour something unnatural down the drain or in the environment, and every time you litter, our beautiful lakes and creeks suffer. Our city is beautiful. Let's all join together to keep it that way. Stop pollution where it starts, and help protect our waters for life.
I'm Lacey Clontz with your TV 24 News update. The very first electric vehicle charging station in Jacksonville is now open at City Hall. Per Facebook, residents and visitors with electric vehicles can top off their batteries while visiting downtown Jacksonville. The two Level 2 stations are in the City Hall parking lot and are ready to use with the OptConnect smartphone app at a rate of 18 cents per kilowatt hour. 2 Alabama women have now received rings that they did not order in the mail. The United States Postal Inspection Service has warned that this may be part of a scam. The woman who most recently received a ring is named Valerie Garner of East Alabama. She said she knew something was up when she noticed that the return address was in China. Per 1819 News, Valerie Garner stated she believed the ring came from a scam website, which she was tricked into ordering from. She spotted an ad for gym clothes on Facebook and clicked on the ad. It took her to what appeared to be the Gymshark website, a company she had ordered from before. She said the website looked identical to the legitimate company's website. However, once she placed the order and began to track it, she knew something was off. She didn't get her order when the package was marked as delivered. Instead, she got a ring in the mail.
For more local news coverage, plus weather with Justin Deal and sports, tune in tonight to the TV 24 News. For WEAC TV 24, I'm Lacey Clontz.
And welcome back to Oven Odyssey Wednesdays here at Rise and Shine. Now, when we went off the air, we talked about plastics and sea salt.
We did.
So I looked it up on the interweb, and what we found was startling. 90% of sea salt contains microplastics.
Seawater.
Sea salt. 90% of sea salt
Really?
contains microplastics.
Unless...
It said, depending on the study, the number of microplastics found in a kilogram of sea salt vary between 35 to 575 particles. So obviously our table salt and sea salt has plastic in it. Now,
So what? How much does that mean?
I don't know.
In a kilogram. I mean, that's the
Kilogram's
the
pretty.
big
Chef
one.
Dave knows
A
how big a
lot.
kilogram
Kilogram's
is.
a lot.
A kilogram.
1,000 grams.
I don't know. I
28
know how much a
ounces
liter
an ounce.
weighs.
How much a what?
A liter weighs. I don't know how much a kilogram.
A kilogram is
weighs.
small, but still, we're ingesting plastics. Now, if you want to get sea
A
salt,
milligram is small.
milligram is
Kilogram. Big.
I don't know.
Kilo.
Kilotons,
Kilogram.
kilograms.
So I don't know how
1,000
many
grams.
milligrams of sauce we have here, but what we've done is we've added cream, we've added parsley, and we've let it reduce. And what we've got is a nice creamy topping
That's
for
gonna
our
be
snapper.
Yummy.
So next step
is
going to get a little olive oil going in another pan and get ready to sear our snapper.
Yes.
Ooh, seared snapper. Now, a lot of people sear snapper at home, I'm sure, or grill it, right?
So we've got a couple of nice snapper fillets here. We're going to season them up, a little salt. I like seasoning on both sides of my food.
of course. Do people just season one side?
As
really?
Justin Wilson used to say, if it's too spicy, just turn it over, eat the other side.
Oh.
So we're going to put a little cayenne on there in honor of the old man. And a little fresh ground black pepper.
Look at that. Flip it over. That's
nice, nice, nice.
Nice,
That
nice.
looks very nice. It does look nice.
We know our oil's getting close because it's getting loose in the pan.
Yep. And there it
There
goes.
we go.
And if it don't say that, the oil wasn't hot enough.
Got it. So it's got to do that sizzling sound.
Got to be that. So we're going to
And
let
if
that
it's
do its
smoking,
thing.
then it's too hot. Definitely.
Smoking oil is too hot. Yeah, that happens
Yeah,
easily.
smoking
too.
is too hot. So while that's going on, we're going to get our little arugula salad ready.
Arugula.
Just going to do it right here on the board. Simple as it can be. This is fresh arugula. If you can find baby arugula, even better, because it's going to be smaller leaves and tender. What I like about arugula is it's got a nice peppery, bitter flavor to it, and it's going to balance well with the lemon in the sauce and the lemon on the fish and the tomatoes. So we're going to add a little extra virgin olive oil here. Not a lot. In my opinion, everyone puts too much dressing on their salad.
Yeah.
Go light, toss it, give it a chance to, you want to be able to taste the ingredients. If you just want salad dressing, do a shot of ranch and be happy. When you're searing meat or fish, give it a chance to sear before you try to move it. If you fool around with it too soon, it's going to stick to the pan, it's not going to release. When it's ready to release, it'll move. It's going to let go of that pan. Right? So whether you're talking about fish or a hamburger or a steak or a piece of pork, chicken, it all works the same way. Just give it a chance. You can see as the fish is starting to turn white on the bottom,
Right.
it's getting close to being ready to release. So we'll let that hang out. Back to our arugula salad. We've got the olive oil. We've got lemon juice. We'll pass on that seed. We want that guy in there. And we're going to take a little fresh Parmigiano. What did we bring today, Sue?
Parmesan.
Fresh Parmigiano Reggiano, and we're going to
And that's really nice.
take
to
a
shave
potato
parm.
peeler and just shave it. Yep. This is great too if you're doing a Caesar salad. Please don't buy the little jar of Parmesan cheese that everybody puts on pizza. Get some,
Do it right.
invest in
Make it
some good
nice.
cheese.
Because you can.
Yeah, because you
you
can.
can. Okay.
So we're going to toss that around a little bit.
Just get a little
I'm
potato
going to add a
peeler.
little bit of salt to this. I'm not going to add any pepper because I think the arugula adds enough pepper.
You can use a box grater to do that too if you want
Yeah.
a little bit smaller, size of the cheese.
And we'll just put that on the side of our plate there.
Lovely.
Going to check our snapper. Look at that. Let right go.
Hello, beautiful.
Hello, beautiful. Give these guys a flip.
Excellent. Smelling good.
Well, that's interesting. Just let them sit in there until they let go.
While that's going on, while we were on break, you remember before we went to break, we turned the rice off. We let it sit for about 5 minutes, and then I fluffed it. I added some fresh parsley to that. We're going to season it because we didn't do that. We're going to put a little salt in there, a little bit of pepper. Remember that starches soak up seasoning, so if you're making a sauce and you think, is that enough seasoning? Well, if it's going on top of a starch, remember that that's going to balance that out. So we're going to go ahead and plate this up while we're waiting on our snapper. Look at that,
Lovely.
nice flaky
That's beautiful.
rice pilaf.
That looks great. Now I know the secret is to rinse your rice.
Such a simple thing.
I never knew that you don't pretend to be any kind of a
Our snapper's going to
mini
need a couple
chef.
more
But
minutes.
we've cooked many a meal in our lifetime.
I have,
right?
and never rinsed my rice.
Yeah.
And I cook with rice 4 or 5 times a week.
And, you know, there's a school of thought, there are people that say, always rinse your rice. You know, sometimes you want a creamy rice. Sometimes you want that starch in there. If you're making risotto, like a nice mushroom risotto, don't rinse it. You're going to slowly, basically you're sauteing that rice and you're slowly adding the stock to it. And as it absorbs it, you add more. And that gives it that creamy texture to it. You're not putting any cream in it. It's just, it's the starch itself that's going to cream up that rice. And risotto takes time. And there's, you know, so many different rice types on the market. Basmati rice is really great for pilaf. Because it kind of stays separate. This is long grain rice today.
I've got basmati rice at home. I cook with that all the time. I just never rinse it. And I should now. I will rinse it.
It depends on what you want it to do.
Well, mostly I put chicken in it. And
Well, so maybe the creamy texture is better with the chicken. You should try it both ways and find out what you like better.
Your fish is going to be done when it is ready to flake. So, you know, whether it's salmon or snapper. Salmon you can go a little on the rare side on. Snapper, white fish you want to get cooked throughout, but you don't want to overcook it because it's just going to turn into rubber.
I don't think there's a variety of rubber fish, actually.
there isn't. So when you say it's done when it's ready to flake,
You'll notice the lines in the fish flake start to separate a little bit.
Okay.
And as you can see in this, it's already separating down the bone line. And it's almost ready. So we're going to give that just another 30 seconds or so.
now did you flip that just one time?
I gave it another flip to see where we were going. But yeah, ideally it's once on each side. You got some confidence there. You want to make sure that you're done. This is looking good. I like it. I'm ready to eat. So we're going to plate this up. Add the sauce, take a quick break, and then we'll come back and have breakfast.
Eat.
Yeah, that's great. So we got just a couple more minutes to. Now, if you're really curious about salt and plastic in your salt, oceanic salt is prehistoric, ancient seawater. I don't know where you get it. Look it up online. And stay with us. We're going to be right back with plated food, and we're going to have a little taste test here on Rise and Shine Oven Odyssey Wednesday. Stay with us.
Welcome to Hot Properties. Today we're going to dive into the exciting world of real estate with Copperleaf Properties.
And I did and absolutely loved it. So actually this month is 8 years in.
For the last 16 years I've been in sales.
One that persuaded her into starting Copperleaf.
That's awesome.
Yeah, she. And I've been working in the Etowah County area now as a realtor since 2002.
The weather is warming up and spring is just around the corner at Miller Sand and Landscape Supply. I'm Craig Miller and we've got something for everyone. From bulk materials like sand, gravel, and mulch to beautiful outdoor decor to make your outdoor living space the envy of the neighborhood. See our beautiful selection of mozzarella fountains, flowers to brighten your garden, and an outdoor center loaded with beautiful decor. Whether you need a little or a lot, visit Miller Sand and Landscape Supply.
May not believe it, but it's true. The 2024 Team 1 Chevys are here. All 2324 Silverado light duties have 2.9% financing for 72 months. The hottest new 24 Team 1 Chevy Blazer, 1.9% financing and no payments till April. And the #1 selling family vehicle, the Equinox. 24 models. You got it. 1.9% financing and no payments till April. Team 1 Chevrolet, home of the best people, the best service, period.
Lacey Clontz with your TV 24 News update. The very first electric vehicle charging station in Jacksonville is now open at City Hall. Per Facebook, residents and visitors with electric vehicles can top off their batteries while visiting downtown Jacksonville. The two Level 2 stations are in the City Hall parking lot and are ready to use with the OptConnect smartphone app at a rate of 18 cents per kilowatt hour. 2 Alabama women have now received rings that they did not order in the mail. The United States Postal Inspection Service has warned that this may be part of a scam. The woman who most recently received a ring is named Valerie Garner of East Alabama. She said she knew something was up when she noticed that the return address was in China. Per 1819 News, Valerie Garner stated she believed the ring came from a scam website, which she was tricked into ordering from. She spotted an ad for gym clothes on Facebook and clicked on the ad. It took her to what appeared to be the Gymshark website, a company she had ordered from before. She said the website looked identical to the legitimate company's website. However, once she placed the order and began to track it, she knew something was off. She didn't get her order when the package was marked as delivered. Instead, she got a ring in the mail.
For more local news coverage, plus weather with Justin Deal and sports, tune in tonight to the TV 24 News. For WEAC TV 24, I'm Lacey Clontz.
Welcome back, and take a look at this plated red snapper. Is that not, you know, even the camera doesn't make it look as pretty as it is in person. This is just the most, just
lovely.
It's remarkably
it's lovely.
Beautiful dish. I almost hate to dig into it.
No,
but
I don't.
not that much.
Not just almost.
Just
Yeah.
almost.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, sir.
Yeah.
So we
it smells good, doesn't it? Yeah.
plated and topped it with the sauce. If your sauce gets a little tight while you're waiting on your other ingredients to get done, just add a little cream or a little stock to it, thin it down, put it back on the heat.
Because you don't want tight sauce.
Nobody wants
Dean Martin
Do something.
dried out sauce.
would say if your sauce gets tight, just get tight
Add
along
more
with
sauce.
it. Good old Dino. So arugula salad.
Got a little arugula salad.
Red snapper. Now, what did you call that? It was
It's a creamy Creole.
creamy.
It's a creamy Creole sauce
on your rice, pilafed rice.
Simple dish, and again, we made dinner in about 30 minutes there. So
Yeah, really, it was very quick. But you knew what you were doing, as opposed to those of us who were sitting there following the recipe.
Or at
going,
least I looked
hey,
like
what
it.
are we doing?
Yes.
Yep. Wow.
I'm not sure why I'm serving.
I don't
so
know why you're
far
serving
away.
Nice. Well, you put the plate there.
You aren't serving.
Look at that.
You always
Oh
serve.
my goodness. All right, so I noticed you put the fish separate from the rice, and you plated it.
Some
looking
people
very-
have a thing about their food.
If
you know.
if I were plating this in the restaurant, I would
Touch
have the rice in the center of the plate and the fish on
fish
top.
on top of it.
And
That's
the
the way
sauce
it
a little on top and some
Yes.
around it.
Yeah, that's
Just the way that it's on the big plate.
Yes.
the way it's on the big plate, because that looks very remarkable. Gosh, and is this? Do you prepare this at?
We get fresh seafood in weekly, so just depending on what catch we can find, that's what we're doing.
All right.
And could you
Here we
do
go.
any fish with this rice pilaf creamy Creole sauce?
You could.
Any?
I think I like it with a whitefish.
Mm-hmm.
The snapper's perfect.
Oh my gosh, this is great. Oh, wow.
Sauce is nice, not too hot. Got a little bit of zing to it.
A little bit, but...
I was gentle for John.
Thank you. Enough to know that it's Creole, but... Oh, the flavor.
That's lovely. Nope, it's got a little afterburn.
Mm-hmm. It's a parade of flavors.
And the arugula's got a nice peppery flavor. Do them together.
We have some of that in the garden
I would plate
also.
the arugula with the
wow
fish and rice because I like it together.
You know, I've talked about my friend Jenny Wall, who has a palate that can dissect each ingredient in your, and she would, I can taste all the kinds of stuff in this. I'm certain she would have a field day with it. Unbelievable.
I am scooping up some peach cobbler.
Oh, peach cobbler.
It's dessert time.
Well,
already.
it will be,
I like it.
but we only have so much time.
We only have so much time, and we've got to eat this while everybody watches us eat.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievably good, really. Now, Susan, you were saying your peach cobbler wasn't very pretty.
Yeah, I don't really. Cobbler's not really very pretty ever, actually. This is a variation on a Paula Deen recipe that was supposed
Has it
to
got
have.
a Paula Deen of butter in it?
Yes, yes, it absolutely does. You start with a stick of butter, and not just in this dish though. I had 3 different dishes of. Because why, follow what the instructions say? This is homemade whipped cream. This is really easy. It's a cup of heavy cream with 2 tablespoons of powdered sugar and a half a teaspoon of vanilla. And I whipped that on about medium high for about 3 minutes. So it's not like it takes half of your life to get it done. And it's a very nice thing to add to any dessert, I think. You
now,
can
what do
also
you do your? How do you do
ice
your
cream.
whipping? It sounds like a basic question, but are you using?
You can do it with a whisk if you have the strength to do that. It will take longer than 3 minutes. I use a mixer, a hand mixer.
Okay.
If you're going to do more than a cup at a time, a stand mixer is the way to go with, and it has a little whiskey.
The whisk attachment.
The whisk attachment,
If you will.
yes.
It's excellent.
So that's.
That is all right.
Peach
That
cobbler
is excellent.
Yes, thank you, Paula Deen.
Wow, this is great. So these recipes will be on the web, on your website, right? And in the
With
book,
all the others.
in the book coming out in the fall, gathering our recipes.
And we made this with snapper today. It's a little bit more expensive cut of fish. If you want to go budget, you can do it with any whitefish. You could do it with cod. You could do it with tilapia. Whatever you like to eat, or you have available for you, you can do that. The sauce is relatively inexpensive, and rice, of course, is. And it's a quick dish. So, again, take something basic, turn it into something fabulous, and blow the family away and have dinner
Make it
ready
pretty.
under an hour.
What's interesting is, you said it, rice is available everywhere, fish. This is for a local, people who live on the coast or people who live by a lake, they're going to eat fish, local population, and rice. These are just, what varies from region to region would be the seasoning, the spices, right?
Absolutely, and the availability. So, and as we kind of
And the protein.
tour through the South on our little culinary tour, we're cooking with stuff that would be available, maybe not year round, but when it's in season for sure, with fresh produce and with seafood seasons. And so we're just looking for some traditional stuff that kind of signatures what eating in the South is.
Yeah.
And we're looking forward to the weeks to come and what else comes with us. So, and the
Yes.
garden will be coming in soon,
And the
then we
garden
can
will
really
be
get,
coming in, and that will
get
be
into
exciting.
some stuff.
This weekend on Sunday is the monthly Calhoun County Makers Market from 2 to 6 at First Christian Church at 1327 Layton Avenue in Anniston. You don't want to miss that. The farmers market, all of the farmers markets locally here in Calhoun County, the Jacksonville and Anniston farmers markets will be open on June the 2nd is Saturday, and they're open every Saturday. And we were open in Jacksonville last week, and this storm blew through, and I mean blew through over that hill in Jacksonville, and some of us questioned our judgment about staying 30 minutes into the storm, but it worked out okay. And
had a tent or two fly away that day.
There were some tents blowing, yes, and so.
Yeah, that was interesting because like 2 or 3 weeks before you canceled not you, but it was canceled.
It was
because
canceled,
of
yes.
the potential for bad weather. And,
right, and then the
all
next
of a sudden
week,
we had
oh my
really bad
goodness,
weather and everybody was there.
That was an intense storm. It really was very unnerving.
The one we had, was it last night? No, the night before.
Night before.
Was pretty darn intense.
Yeah, dogs were upset.
Yep, I think, we were really lucky in our area. There were big swath of the country that
yeah, really got hit hard.
Took hard hits, and
we lost power for just barely a few minutes. And I think the cable went out for hours, but it's cable.
Hardship.
Yeah, hardship. Yeah. Yep. That's that. So, all right. Oven Odyssey website's got these recipes, right? Yes.
Working on those.
Working on that.
In our free time. Yeah.
Yes.
If you need some help, feel free to call us. We'll walk you through.
Volunteers and anybody who's got an interest in updating websites or helping us pull together our book.
Looking for an intern.
Yes.
We need an intern if you're into interning.
That travels.
And volunteering for.
And so we
work
have
long hours and pick up 50 pounds. That's
products in at Called Coffee, and then also at the shops at Main Street South in Piedmont. And just wait for it. Oh, and
yeah, soon to have dog treats in Happy Little Paws in Piedmont. So we're excited about that.
Happy Little Paws? What is that?
It is a dog grooming business. And the ladies that own it, Alyssa and her partner, would be happy to help you out. And they did a wonderful job on my poodle. And
poodleness.
Do you have a poodle?
I have a standard poodle, yeah.
Oh, a standard poodle's
big
pretty
dog.
Yeah, big dog. Yeah.
She's a big dog. She's about 60 pounds.
Yeah, they're nice.
So,
the sponge.
If they can deal with her, they can deal with anybody. So,
so real quick, what's going on in the restaurant this week?
Restaurant, we got some live music this weekend and some great specials. And come on down and check it out.
Downtown Piedmont.
Downtown Piedmont.
Piedmont's got a lot going on these days. It's amazing.
Really?
Shells downtown.
Shells downtown. Piedmont's really come a long way in the last few years.
It is. It's got a lot going on. It's a neat little town.
So if you haven't been to Piedmont, I can't imagine why you haven't, but some folks that live at the south end of the county don't necessarily feel the need to drive that far north. It's not that far.
And it's not really far.
And there's a lot of stuff going on in downtown Piedmont. I think it's going to be the...
You can cruise up the Ladiga Trail
Exactly.
on your bikes.
That has added a lot to the traffic in Piedmont. And the Blueberry Festival, the first annual Blueberry Festival is not going to happen this year.
Oh.
I'm so sorry.
Really?
Yes.
Logistics is a problem.
Logistics is a problem, and we don't really know when the blueberries are going to be ripe, and so that's kind of
that could be an annual problem.
Timing is a challenge.
Yes, but we will know better after this season.
Well, all right. Well, next year we will have the first annual Blueberry Festival. In the meantime, you can enjoy your blueberries at home. And maybe you can find a Chef Dave recipe for blueberry ice cream.
Let's leave that to the baker. Absolutely.
The baker. All right, well, we're going to enjoy our meal offline here. And you guys can tune in again next Wednesday for Rise and Shine Oven Odyssey Wednesday. But don't forget to tune in every morning for Rise and Shine. And we will be back again tonight at 5 o'clock with our nightly news. And we look forward to seeing you again here on Rise and Shine Oven Odyssey Wednesday next week. Thank you for tuning in.